Hey guys, today is October the 30th, Sunday, October the 30th of 2022, and I want to go over the Nifty 50, doing an update on October and see how we did here. We'll first start out with the weekly cycle. I'm using data from 2009 onward. There's three important cycles. One is the 332, which we just hit a peak in somewhere around August. Maybe the second week of August, and you know this cycle is pointing down into the future. The next cycle is the 196. This is the dominant cycle on the weekly chart. You can see that we hit a peak somewhere around January, maybe the last week of January, and it hits a trough at the end of the year. And the last one, which is not as strong, but I have it there, is the 116, and that one hit a trough in October, pretty much now, this week. And this one goes up all the way to December of 2023. So you got three cycles, two are down and one is up. We'll take the two that are down and make a composite, and this is what you get. All the way into February of next year. Actually, not next year, of 2024. I'm not going to make a composite of the one going up with the ones going down. It just doesn't make sense, but, you know, we could try it. And this is what it's showing, you know, that will go up all the way to October of 2023 and then go down. Use the dominant cycle with the 116. This is what it's showing, sideways. Okay, so this is the daily chart. I'm going back for 2013 to current prices right here. Let's see what we have. There's three cycles here. One is the 259. And this one hit a trough, lined up pretty good. You rarely see this, so this was pretty nice to go long when you got the cycle backing you up. This cycle hits a peak somewhere around December of this year. So can this play out? Certainly, yes. Next cycle is the 220, and this one we already hit a peak. This one hit a trough, bottomed out pretty early, and then it pushed a little lower. And now we hit a peak right here somewhere around October. Now the cycle goes down. And the last one is the 167. And that one, we hit a peak somewhere around September 12, and the cycles are down. So one is down, 167 is down, 220 is just turned, so that's pointing down. And the 259, which looks like it's the positive one, is up. Any correlations here? They're pretty low. These three. So let's take the 259 and the 220 and pretty much do a composite, be peaking out somewhere around November the 12th. Let's take the 167, kind of peaking there. Let's take the 220 and the 167. Yeah. So the positive thing is that if the 259 is going to play out, it's going to continue going high into December, which kind of lines up with the weekly one that's positive. That's one. The other two are going down. So very interesting to see the other analysis that we have. But so far, you know, this is what the cycles are showing on the weekly and on the daily chart. Okay, so this is a seasonality chart of the Nifty 50% of bumps in which Nifty closed higher than it opened from 2018 to 2022. This is a 5-year average, and you can see that October, November, December are pretty strong. January, February are the weakest. And then we jump to 10 year. You can see that October, which is reflecting the price action we have now. So it was good to go long from September on because you got all this gain. And then using a 10 year average, it says that November is a little weaker, below 50, and then December is strong. So there could probably be a pullback in November, and then it continues pushing higher into December, or as they say, the Christmas rally here in the United States. Let's go straight to a 20 year. You can see that October is still strong. November is a little weak, and then December is actually even stronger. So I will look at it like we're strong now. We get a pullback. Yeah, it could play out because the seasonalities are confirming it next month. And then, find a low somewhere in November, and then, do the Christmas rally into the December. And that's all knowing that the weekly cycles are not going to affect the Nifty 50. But if it does affect the Nifty 50 and it starts just pushing lower, chances are that the Christmas rally may not play out. But that's just something you need to, think about with the week. Okay, so this is the Elliott Wave chart that I use, and this is the monthly chart. As you can see, we have a 1, 2. We just did a 3 here on October the 2021. Now it's saying that it's waiting for a wave 4. So if the weekly cycles take a hold of Nifty 50 and it pushes lower, or the daily cycles push it lower, possible a wave 4 target would be 1467.1 or 1226.3. Now let's go to the weekly and see what we have here. You can see that from this low of March 2020, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 has been established. That June low, and everything looks good, all above the moving averages. So let's say the weekly cycles are not going to affect the Nifty 50, and we're going to push higher. Possible target wave 5 projection is 21,179 all the way to 24,925. Now let's go to the daily chart. You can see that here, this is where it gets a little choppy. There's a lot of waves here playing out. So let's just take the last one. This was ended on the wave 5 here of June. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, which lines up with the weekly. And we're working on a wave 5. Good thing all the moving averages are positive. And possible targets at 18,337 all the way to 19,320. There's a wave 5 projection. Let's see what we got going on here. This is another target I have here, and a date, November 4th. Keep an eye on that. And also November 24th. So 18,29.3 all the way to 18,43.2. It will be interesting to see which lines up for wave 5 right here, projection line. So this little area right here could be a possible target to the upside. Okay, this is my chart on TradingView, and you can see that there's a trend line, this red line here. You can see that prices are above it, so that's a good sign. But we're going to be entering the supply zone again, and that's from 1793 all the way to the high of 1860. Let's look at the daily chart and see what we got there. So yeah, that red line right there, that's that trend line I showed you. Let's look at the dates that we've had for October. So the 6th was a little swing high, then it pulled back, and then I had the 24th, which was I believe a Monday, then Tuesday. And so far we have some inside days. Maybe this one's a little out, but positive. And just got a buy signal on the daily. So if it's going to push higher, it's going to have to fight into the supply zone. We have a buy signal on the weekly. I don't think so. Actually we do. Yeah. It was on a sell signal on the daily, but on the weekly turned positive. So now all the signals are positive here, and this so far is looking good. It's just going to be a strong. Okay, so this is our geometry chart. You can see that right here. We're dancing around the 786 retracement level, which is at 1787.2. Using the Gann speed, you're at the 3/4, which is at 1774. Obviously, the target would be the high there. And using our Gann angle, we've been finding support at the 2x1 as of right now. Let's see how that goes. Action reaction lines, it's finding support here. This will probably be all targets and resistance levels. In the Andrews pitchfork, you see that we're found the groove right here. Mind you, this are all weekly charts. That's where it looks very, like compressed. So far it's looking good. It's holding this angle right here, so that's good. Using the Andrews pitchfork 50% adjusted, you can see that the 50% was right here and we kind of fail. I'm guessing that, it could probably go up and maybe hit this and maybe kind of stall a little bit in November, if the November seasonalities are going to play out. And then it's going to have to, fight hard to go through that 50% level. Okay, so this is the last clip. This is what I call my master chart. We'll start off with neural net. This is neural net, pretty much a computer algorithm forecasting. And it's saying that we hit a peak right here, somewhere around the 25th, and that it should go down. That remains to be seen, but that is what the neural net is saying. So we'll see if that's going to play out this year. Next thing is the solar cycle. As you can see, it hit a peak here. And it was forecasting going down all the way to the 28th, which is kind of interesting because we went up all the way to the 28th. And now here it kind of turns, goes up, down, and then it goes up. So could this be inverse? And from here we start going down? I don't know. Just the kind of things the way my mind sees it, but that's the kind of stuff I look at. So you have to just pay attention to a price action here. Very important right here, this turning point. In regards to the solar cycle there. What's next here? Let's go to seasonalities. Actually, let's do the 10-year. See what 10 years ago, what Nifty did. It kind of went sideways here. And then somewhere around November 20th, it rallied. So there's a pullback somewhere around the 16th and 20th. If you see some big volume and big candles, maybe that's a good signal that it might probably play out this trend, this price action, this trend here. The probabilities, not that exactly. Let's do 20 years. That's what Gann said. You can see that 20 years ago, we bottomed out here. And interestingly, we went up. So could it be inverse? That remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. Could this be a cycle down, going and, using the cycles? That's something to see into the future if it plays out. Using the annual and the decimal, you see that they're still bearish somewhere around till like November 12th, 22. You should put the fast annual and the mid annual. You can see that we get toppy right around here, the 31st, and also the 11th. Something to keep in the back of your mind there. Spectrum analysis. I don't think I want to go into that. This is a model I have, and this one is bullish. This one, I think, is a composite of certain cycles here using the RSO, and it gets toppy around the 13th, and then it pulls back. And I already showed you neural net. So let's see, using Gann square. You can see that we hit resistance right here. And this 1775 is going to be some support if we go hold it. If we could push higher, we got to get above this angle as of now. But if we kind of stall right here and then fall below 1774, this angle right here and this level will be your next support, 1688. And wherever that, angle and price action meet. Another key support right here would be that 1721. This is kind of open. Let's see. Yep. Nothing really there. Fibonacci level. Yep. 76.4. We're kind of chopping around there. And Fourier. A couple of things to keep in mind with the Fourier. On the, I guess, the 31st or Monday, keep an eye on that day. You got a crossover here. Somewhere around the 20th, it bottoms out. And then also December 2nd, keep an eye on that. Next one will be November 20th. November 20th is popping up a lot, so keep an eye on that. And this projection line bottoms out here. I think that's it. Yep, I think that's it. So to end this video, what are my thoughts? Seasonality, November could be weak. We got a strong little rally. Could it exhaust here and pull back and then resume into December and close positive? Yeah, that could happen. Because this is a wave 4. And it could, finish, if it's going to continue finishing there. The only thing that concerns me is that the weekly cycles are down. And things could just kind of stall out a little bit here. If the weekly cycles take a big control of the Nifty 50, we have to keep an eye on 1674. If we take that out, that's not good. You see that you got a nice little pivot here. This is a strong level. It pulls back. I don't want to see it take out 1675. That way it gives it enough time. I mean, maybe we could do a double bottom and then rally up to December. But if we take that out, we got to be very careful there. Can it continue going higher? Yeah, it could continue going higher. It could ignore November as a November seasonally weak. And that, the 5-year says that November is strong, but then the 10 and the 20 shows that it's a little weaker. So you got to see which is the one that's going to play out. Oh, I'll leave it there. Hopefully you like this video, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the Nifty 50 using double Gann price and time technical analysis.